Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make these DIY Dollar Tree flower pens. Super easy, super inexpensive. You need a pack of Bic pens from the Dollar Tree. You can get black, blue, or red, up to you. You're going to need a little bit of reindeer moss or Spanish moss. Either one will work. You're going to need some flowers. I picked roses because, it's Valentine's Day. And, or you can pick any rose buds or flower buds you have laying around. You're going to need flower pots, either the 3-pack or the 2-pack, and I'll show you the difference in a second and why we choose them. And then you're going to need some floral tape. You're also going to need your glue and your cutter thingies. And you're going to need some foam. This is the wet foam, but you could use wet or dry foam as long as you can cut it. So the video got all corrupted. Sorry. Let me show you what I did real quick. I took a scissor and I cut the tip of the pen off. It really isn't very difficult. Just takes a little effort, and it's not 100% necessary. This just makes the pen last a little longer. The reason we chose these pens is because the ink is interchangeable. Like, basically I could pull one out of the package and change it when it dies so that I can keep the flower pen. We've cut about 1 inch off of the flower stem, and this is going to insert inside the pen, which is just going to make it that much more stable. And we've cut the leaves off of this flower, well, not off of it, but from the stem, and pulled the plastic piece off. And that's, and then we cut the tip off the cap, and that's what you missed. I am sorry about that. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to glue the stem inside the flower just to keep it a little bit more sturdy. This is just ordinary hot glue. And we're going to glue it inside the pen, and the stem is actually going to run alongside of the ink. So we're going to pull the ink out so that the ink doesn't glue, but we want to leave the ink in there while we insert the glue and insert the pen, so that the stem stays on the side of where the ink is going to eventually go back. Does that make sense? Okay. And now we're just going to glue the 2 of the petals onto the pen cap. And we're just going to wrap them around. Just be mindful that you don't burn yourself. And then we'll put the ink right back in. And now we're going to work on the flower pot. We're just going to take the flower pot and we're going to just stick it in the big giant chunk of moss so that we can measure. And then I put the pot next to it to see how high I need to cut. And you don't have to fill this all the way. You just have to have enough so that it won't move, and then your pen cap will stay in there, okay, once you glue it. And then we're just going to take the scissor. I'm going to trim it around so it looks like a nice round pile of moss. And I'm going to push it in a little further. I've made my indent of where my cap is going to go, and then I'm gluing my cap in. You don't have to stick it down too far. You do want the leaves to show. And then we're just going to glue around onto the foam and stick some moss around there just to make it look like it's a live plant. All of this is the illusion that this is a live flower. Now, these gifts we did at AHRC, but they make great teacher gifts. They make great gifts to make with grandma for mom, with mom for grandma, for Valentine's Day, or Parents' Day, Mother's Day, or for Grandparents' Day. Any occasion where you think somebody might enjoy a little flower pen. Okay, so I'm just cleaning up a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our flower and we're going to take the floral tape. Now, I find the floral tape from the Dollar Tree, mine is a little old, so I'm going to glue the start down. So I basically put a little glue and I wrap the tips. And floral tape works when you stretch it and it sticks to itself. But I find on here that, a little glue at the beginning and the end helps. Now, you want to not go all the way down to the bottom of the tip because you want to leave room for the cap. Okay, and you also want to be able to grip the pen without gripping the floral tape so much. But you don't have to worry about going all the way to the tip because it's going to sit in the cap anyway. And then I've just glued that 3rd leaf on there. That's just an option to make it look a little bit more like a flower, and that's this one. This is the single. And then we're going to do is we're going to wrap, and this is another optional obviously. I show you without the ribbon, but we're going to wrap some ribbon around the top of the flower pot. This is just to add a little something something But, you know, again, you don't have to. If you want it to just look like a flower pot, you could have stopped right there. And then the cost of this item would be about 50 cents between the pen and the flower pot. Or maybe 55 cents or whatever. But, yeah, when you add the bow, it does add a little bit of extra money. And I've just tied it in a bow. I haven't done anything fancy. I glued the ribbon around, and wherever I intersected is where I put the ribbon over it, the bow over it, and that's it. And here it is, and it could sit on the teacher's desk, and they could pull out the pen whenever they need. And the best part is, nobody can steal your pen, because you know exactly which one was yours. So the next thing I'm going to show you is the 3-pen pot. And I've done the same thing with the flower pot. I've pushed it into the floral foam. And then this time, because it's deeper, I'm taking my ruler or any butter knife or anything you want to cut the moss out. And then I'm just trimming it on a little bit of an angle and pushing it into the pot and breaking the pot. Yes, I definitely wanted to show you guys. If you push the foam too hard, you can break the pot in half. So on to the next one. What happened was I really just didn't trim the foam down enough. So I'm just taking my ruler again and using it just to shave a little bit off to the sides. All right, and then setting that off to the side, I found some flower heads that I wanted to use. These are some old blossom heads. I think I've mentioned these before. If you're new around here, I'll tell you that Walmart used to sell bags for $1 of just the blossom heads when I lived in New York, and I collected a bunch. So some of these I just have blossom heads. They don't have stems. They don't have leaves. And what I'm doing is I'm just gluing the tops, gluing the stems to the tops of the pens. Not using any of the stem, just a bud. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. I'm just gluing the buds to the tops of the pens. We're not using any stems this time. We're not cutting the pens. I just want to show you there's another option. So what I do is I put a dollop of glue and I swirl it around and make sure that the glue comes down the pen a tiny bit. And then you just want to really hold it there for a while. This actually does take a long time because the hot glue wants to melt the plastic of the flower. And it takes a long time for that to cool back off again so it doesn't move. And I've done this for all 3. Like I was saying, an option could be that you could... oh, actually, I didn't say that yet, but I will be saying that. You could use 3 different color pens here if you're doing for a teacher. Since there are going to be 3 different flowers on there, the teacher will be able to distinguish a black pen from a blue pen from a red pen. Or if your teacher uses green pens, whatever you can get your hands on. And now we're just going to wrap the same way. We're going to start wrapping over the tape, over the glue at the top. Okay, and we're going to repeat this one. And this one's not going to cut. We're not even going to cut the tops of the caps off like I showed you in the previous video. But you want to make sure that you don't wrap it down too much, just like not the previous video, the previous flower. Oh my goodness, I really cannot talk today. I'm so sorry. So you just want to make sure you stop wrapping the tape before you get to where the cap is going to go on. That's all I'm trying to say. And you want to repeat with all 3. And then this one, we're going to glue just 1 leaf on each pen cap. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue the leaf with the pointy part of the leaf is going to be where the pen cap point is out. So I'm showing you this option for more of to do with the kids, that you don't have to cut the plastic pen apart, or any of the cutting really is required in this at all. In fact, I'm cutting the floral tape there, but you can actually pull floral tape. I don't know if you guys know that. You pull it and it breaks off pretty easy. So then the good thing about this one is just if you have somebody doing your hot glue for you, you could do it with the kids. So now I'm going to take some leaves that I had, just like random leaves left over, in this set of 3. And I'm going to glue them onto the pen caps, like I mentioned. And you're just going to run the bead glue along the long part of the pen cap, and then put that in the center part of the leaf and wrap it around. Let me zoom in for you guys. So you can see here, it goes pretty fast. I did all of these in about a half an hour. It took me to do all of these. And then you're just going to repeat for all 3. And then I've taken another set of 3 leaves and I've put leaves on the flowers as well. And that again is just an option. You don't have to do that. It still looks just as pretty. It's just a little bit of like, look, I have tons of leaves laying around. I might as well put some leaves on here. And then these ones I've pulled a little further apart from each other. I've put them in like a triangle base. You can do this with as many caps as you can get in there. And if you use the same type of pen, like the same brand of pen, the caps are interchangeable. So like if you got the other colors. And once I have the caps glued in, then I'm going to go ahead and decorate with the moss around to hide all of the foam. And trim it if you want. If you don't want it to be like messy, you want it to make it look like it's natural. I like to make it look like it's natural. Big fat stemmed flowers. That's what we have here. Okay, and then I found these leaves, and I told you this is just optional. I've left the plastic on the back of 2 of them, and one of them I just ripped the silk part right off and just glued it right onto the stem. And again, you don't have to put them even as high as where I'm putting them. You just make sure you want to give plenty of room for a person to grab the pen. All right, without interfering. And then you just stick them randomly wherever you want, and that's it. So for this one, I've decided to use this gold and pink chevron patterned, not really chevron because it's only arrows, but patterned ribbon that they have at the Dollar Tree now in their spring ribbon section. Because I wanted to show you it doesn't have to be for Valentine's Day. The other one's got little hearts on it. This one, it could just be for a teacher. I wanted to show you different options. And this is a different way to make this bow. This way that I'm making the bow here is a lot like the way I did my bows in my bow tutorial, where I've glued a loop of ribbon and then taken a separate piece of ribbon to tie around it. The benefit of that really is that the 2 tails, you don't have to worry about twisting your tails around and trying to find it so that your tails end up straight, and that, you know, the ribbon that crosses over, you don't have to worry about it being the back of the ribbon. And I've just dog-eared the tails there and glued it where it belongs. And that, my friends, is that. So here is the 3 flowers by themselves. So there's the mess. There's the fire life. There's the mess. So here's the 3 pot, and this is 3 pens. Now, if you're doing this for a teacher or something, you could actually do like red, you know, like, and the roses could match. Like you could pick a red rose for the red pen. But I wanted to, and then that's that ribbon. Then I wanted to show you, like, here's the single, and you could just add flowers to it. Like, it is a piece of floral moss. And you could just like stick flowers in there. Pen can get gripped easy. So you could always just add flowers to it. See if you think that the 1 pen is just not enough. And the same goes for these. So you could always add the stems in the middle if you wanted some additional flowers. The same goes for these heart picks that I was pointing out. So if you did maybe red roses, you could pick some of these little red hearts around for Valentine's Day, if you picked for Valentine's Day. But like I said, these are really good for Mother's Day. These are really great for Valentine's Day. These are really great teacher gifts for whenever, honestly. And this one, so the bouquet of flowers you get, usually gets 6 blossoms, okay? So even if you did this exact thing, excuse me, it's 10 cents for the pen. It's about, honestly, it's about 3 cents worth of floral tape. It's probably about 4 cents worth of moss, and probably about 10 cents worth of foam, if it's that. Same with the ribbon. The pots are 3 for $1. So we're talking like I said, less than 75 cents to make the whole thing. Like I said, it's less than 75 cents for the whole thing, but here's what it looks like. And then this one, these pots are 2 for $1. Like probably 10 cents worth, 20 cents worth of foam and 10 cents worth of moss. And the glue, of course, and the ribbon, of course. Oh, what happened to my ribbon? What happened to my bow? My bow looked fakakta there for a second. Actually, it does look very fakakta. What happened? Is the glue coming away? I have to re-glue that side, I guess. I don't know what I did. Maybe I didn't hold it long enough and it started to slide off. That's probably what happened. And, you know, the same thing with the flowers. This is probably 50 cents worth of flowers and 30 cents worth of pens. So this might be as much as, you know, $1, maybe $1.50 if you want to say. But it's really a nice gift. And you can bunch your flowers closer together. I just wanted to show you how you can spread them apart so that they're grabbable. Okay? So I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. I would love to hear you guys sharing these with your kids and grandkids. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Share it with friends and family. Anybody you know might be interested in making one of these with their kids or with their class or with their scout troop, anything. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe when you do. A little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, take care. God bless. See you next time. Bye.